Super League games against Warrington last year on their return to the top flight. And their fans here in great spirits and hoping.
And tough, believe you me. They've got two of the biggest sets of forwards, and that is where they'll play it, especially in the opening 5 to 10.
Mark Hilton with the first drive in, met by Robert Relf. And also in there very quickly was the loose forward Daniel Frame. Frame again with Julian O'Neill. And that's good tackling, good forcing back by the Widnes too. John Clark at dummy half. Fozzard will drive it forward. And first penalty of the match goes Warrington's way as we take a check on the teams. Penny, Smythe, Gross, Sibbett, Apo, Breers the captain and Wood. The forwards Fozzard, Clark, Hilton, Gise, Wainwright and Burns. And on the bench, Domick, Wood, Stevens, Noon, the coach Paul Cullen, who wouldn't be terribly happy with that first penalty attempt. Vikings have Spruce the skipper, Golden, Demetriou, Hughes, Giles, O'Neill and Lawford. Ralph Millard, the other Julian O'Neill, Hay, McCurry and Frame. And the bench occupied by Sheridan, Farrell, Aitchison and Alcock. And the coach, Neil Kelly. It's Warrington in possession with Breers, he gives it to Penny.
Well, they're looking to get away with that. Not the best kick from Breers. Got a fingertip to it, but it did ricochet off, so that meant they got the head and feet. Lucky to get away with it.
They were lucky. Sibbett to his feet, plays the ball to Nathan Wood. Wood taking them on himself. It's Golden who gets the tackle in. Marvin Golden, the man who's brought to Widnes from Doncaster. This now is Fozzard again. He will drive it in once more. Millard low down, Julian O'Neill over the top. Lee Breers, the man who makes Warrington tick. Good ball wide to Penny, only passed a fitness test just before the kick-off. Good tackle though by Adam Hughes. Here's Breers again with a kick to the in-goal, looking for the tall figure of Sibbett, but he hit it out on the full.
Not the best kick. As you just mentioned, Eddie, he's the architect of so many moves. This is one of them, the kick right into the corner. Most sides utilise it, but far too strong in the end. Marvin Golden not put under any pressure. Neil Kelly feels that Golden will do a good job for him. He's pretty confident.
Here comes Robert Relf again for the Widnes Vikings. Fozzard in quickly with John Clark. Now Steve McCurry, who not too long ago was plying his trade for Paul Cullen's Warrington. That's a nice stab through and a good chase on the way here maybe. Penny is across to pick it up. Spruce was after it.
Oh, that's a great kick and chase.
Giles was looking for it as well.
Knew exactly what was happening there.
Smythe taking it up from dummy half. Darren Burns. Now the French international Jérôme Gise. And Darren Burns again goes through the first attempted tackle by Hughes, but Lawford was there with Julian O'Neill to bring him down. John Clark, they'll come down the short side. This is Brent Gross trying to get away from Giles. Giles did well, finished off by O'Neill. It's the last tackle here for Warrington. They're just inside the Widnes half, and it's Breers again with the kick into open space. Marvin Golden though is there. It bounced unkindly right in front of him. It allowed Warrington to move forward.
Well, they obviously feel that Marvin Golden will be a weak link. And
offside, Warrington.
Paul Cullen, the Warrington coach, obviously wants to target the new guy, and you can see there that the official, Ron Lawton, had plenty to select from. You see the man there, the little halfback Nathan Wood, with the with these gloves that a lot of the players use these days. He really needs a big game. If he fires along with his halfback partner, the captain Lee Breers, then Widnes are going to be in for a hard tussle.
Big hit there on Julian O'Neill by John Clark, who forces him back even more, helped out by Hilton low down. This is Millard now. It's a good run from Millard. Clark eventually getting to him with Wainwright.
You mentioned the hooker, Eddie. Millard really has had a great start to this season.
So has Lawford. This is McCurry. It goes wide to Giles. And Giles, well, he slid his way over the line, but the touch judge has his flag up.
Yeah, caught it just at the second attempt. Plenty of pace. Got to him in the end. Watch the leg. Just skips away. Here it comes on the second occasion. There it is. Knee and then the leg. Tried his best. Good effort though by Chris Giles.
Touch judge did well.
Yeah, and you can see the knee going to the whitewash as well, but geez, they were pretty slow to get off there. It was good work down on the short blind side. He'll be happy with the opening of a few minutes.
Now Widnes caught offside. Shrill blast on the referee's whistle. Ronnie Lawton making his Sky Sports debut tonight.
Well, he's made the point. And let's hope that both sides realise that he's the man in charge. Good conditions to say we've had plenty of rain here.
Fozzard.
2 balls on the pitch. No one's seen it. They have now.
This is Breers. Looks right and finds Guisset, who almost ran into Darren Burns, then did a quick right shimmy. Here is Nathan Wood. Burns again, tries to get through the tackle of Andy Hay. Adam Hughes and Steve McCurry in support, the reinforcements. Brent Gross, the dummy half. Back it comes to Nathan Wood. Long ball then into the arms of Clark. Here now is Wainwright, back to Clark. Then to Fozzard, and Libri has pointed him towards the sticks.
Well, they're keeping the ball alive, but there's no one really moving with momentum. They've got to be running onto this football.
Breers, and Wood has run onto it. Flicks the ball out the back. Touched by a witness hand, it's back to 6. Adam Hughes got a hand to that.
Certainly did, the right hand, palmed the ball down.
The referee wipes the tackle count down. This is Brent Gross! First try, Warrington. Brent Gross, the scorer. Darting over from dummy half. The Australian, a noted scorer, but he hadn't got a try until then in the last 4 matches. And that is try number 4 of the campaign for Australian Brent Gross.
Good finish, all brought about by the wonderful effort there by Nathan Wood. I mentioned the fact that his coach Paul Cullen wanted something extra from this guy, and this certainly is. Keeping the ball alive, did well. Lifted out, that was back to 6, and they were very short on the blind side there. Stuart Spruce, very slow indeed. Spruce was about half a yard behind the winger Chris Giles. You must go as a unit, and that's the reason why the Australian Gross has gone in for the first try. Good work, all brought about by the skills of Nathan Wood.
4th try of the season, the first one on home soil for Brent Gross. Now Lee Breers, the Welsh international, 24 years of age. He missed the St Helens defeat with a shin problem. This is his 170th appearance for Warrington. 19 goals and a couple of drop goals so far for Lee Breers. Mirrored on the big screen behind him as he clips it goalwards, but he hasn't got the direction right. Warrington 4, Widnes 0.
Well, you can see Stuart Spruce there. He's on the backward instead of going forward, and that's allowed the space for Gross to take advantage. It's only a matter of centimetres at times, but if you're going to go up as a straight unit, you've got to go quickly and get into their faces, not wait until this guy has got the momentum, and that's the reason why Gross went over the whitewash.
Welcome downstairs.
Formerly with Cronulla and South Sydney, Brent Gross. This is Mark Hilton. Good run by the big prop forward, and now another penalty, lifting of the foot by the Widnes player. Daniel Frame.
Oh, little doubt about it. Second attempt. Well, they look a bit unsettled at the moment. His forward Frame.
Fozzard will drive it in again.
One thing that both sides have is power in the forwards.
Nathan Wood, here is Mark Hilton now. Good tackle low down by McCurry, finished off by the prop forward O'Neill. Breers and Guisset. And Guisset slips the net, and he's got support from Rob Smythe. They're in again, Warrington.
It's a try. He had the ball down before the legs went over the corner flag.
What a start. 2 tries in quick succession, and Rob Smythe, and they've certainly capitalised down this right wing twice now. They must have spotted a weakness. Paul Cullen has done some homework here.
Well, quick play, got them into the position. Good work by Fozzard, and then the Frenchman Guisset, and that is poor play yet again. You can see that Stuart Spruce very late in arriving, but the centre and wing combination, you've got to make sure you get down for those. And Dean Lawford was slow, so was Andy Hay, and the fullback far too late. Good effort. Great finish from Smythe. He knows the way to the try line. But as Eddie has just mentioned, the second occasion that they've been caught on that short blind side. And full credit to Paul Cullen, the Warrington coach. He obviously realises that they have problems out there in the centres.
Rob Smythe, the try scorer, formerly with Wigan and London, of course. His fourth in a row on the wing. Well, Breer's had an almost identical conversion attempt just a couple of minutes ago. I wonder whether he has learned a lesson. He's given it a chance this time. 2 more points for the Warrington Wolves. They lead here 10-0.
You've got to make sure of your tackle there. You see Hughes has gone out of the line, so therefore the halfback Lawford and the second row Andy Hay, they really have to make sure that they have the impact. That was poor play there. Phil, I get the impression that Widnes, after a pretty bright start, they've just been shell-shocked. They're not doing their tackling.
No, I think the thing that'll also worry them is the concession of so many penalties inside the Warrington half. If you think the kicks really have set the Warrington side on their attacking platform, and the biggest difference I can see from this Warrington team from the last time we saw them play against St Helens is far more adventurous in attack, really. The players looking to offload, far more passes, players running off the ball, offering themselves as supporting options, and really that's what's caused so many problems, plus the basic one-on-one misses from the Warrington Widnes side.
I must say though, Phil, that Paul Cullen, the Warrington coach, he's done a good job in bringing Darren Burns into the loose forward. That gives him a little bit more flexibility to get around the park.
Yeah, it does have it in there as well. They've also now got Lee Breers back from the last game, Nathan Wood. They've now got maybe 3 key players who on different sides of the field and also in the middle of the field can offer some attacking options to the Warrington team, which was perhaps what was missing at times against St Helens. Although now they're now conceding penalty, and it'll be Widnes' turn to have a go at attacking. And we've seen with Dean Lawford, Julian O'Neill and Stuart Spruce at fullback, they've also got some key players who could maybe cause problems here. The players you see very often, it's not that they're not getting back to the referee from this penalty, just too keen, setting off before the players played the ball.
Widnes looking for something here with McCurry. Remember, 3 times last year Widnes took on the Warrington Wolves in their return to Super League and they beat them, and that's smart in this part of the world, let me tell you.
Well, they want to bounce back quickly.
Overall, as you can see, Widnes have had the better of things, and even here at Warrington they've done pretty well, but in Super League they have got a whitewash so far against the Wolves. But this is a good start from Warrington here.
Well, the magic of Lawford, the man playing the ball, so instrumental in so much success. That was forward. Surely that was a delayed pass. The officials haven't seen it.
It looked it from this angle, I must say, but here is Lawford again. There's the kick through, looking for Andy Hay.
He's got it.
He touched it down, did he?
Yep.
Widnes are convinced he did. And the referee, well, Ronnie Lawton will call time off and ask Ian Ollerton to make his first video referee decision of the night.
Beautiful kick from Lawford. Pinpointed the man that has been so influential so far this year. A lot of people thought he was on the scrap heap, and he's onside as far as I'm concerned. They're all behind Andy Hay. They'll now go have a quick look to see whether he grounded it all right. Well, there's nothing wrong with that. Impact there. You can see that the right boot is in front of Andy Hay. I don't know why the video referee is having a little bit of trouble with this. No problem as far as I'm concerned. That is try time. And a good effort as well. They so badly needed that. Get back into this game. They were shell-shocked with 2 quick tries. This will be TRY.
Ian Ollerton, the video referee, agrees with you. And Andy Hay gets his 3rd try of the season. Almost 300 career games now for this fellow. One of 7 former lead stars at Widnes.
This is a beautifully weighted kick as well. He knew exactly where that ball was going. They take plenty of time in practicing such a move like that. Well weighted, well finished as well. It's taken a while for Andy Hay to settle into the different style that Widnes use.
But that, Steve-O, is his 5th try on this ground for 3 different clubs. Widnes, of course, today, Sheffield Eagles and Leeds.
Yeah, it's amazing how certain players just seem to enjoy a certain ground. And on the other side of the coin, They hate going to other grounds too. But they needed that. The game needed it.
They did, it did, and Julian O'Neill needs this conversion. And he almost, well, I think he did side foot that over the bar. It's 10-6 in Warrington's favour. But I promised you it might be a bumpy ride, and this is an important try for Widnes at an important time in the match for them. Andy Hayes' try, they were in danger of slipping it away.
Full credit to Lawford. Got a wonderful rugby league brain, and he just knows exactly what's needed.
Yes, Hayes takes the full credit, but Lawford with a beautiful kick.
Tremendous stuff. You know, it's an amazing thing. Oh,
Marvin Golden.
what a mistake.
Knock on in his own in-goal area. It's a drop out underneath the sticks then. Mind you, came at him like a bouncer at the cricket
But
match.
Eddie, he's been around long enough to realise he should have taken 3 steps forward and taken it on the full. We all know what can happen when a ball hits the ground. It can bounce either backwards, forward, sideways, you name it. Can disappear at times.
That's a great drop out from Julian O'Neill. Breers was underneath it. Hilton will cart it forward over halfway for Warrington, met by Jason Demetriou. They're attacking the short side again over on the far side this time though, with Wainwright. Plays the ball to Wood, and here is Fozzard. Belligerent forward pack here at Warrington.
Interesting to see in the defensive pattern that Julian O'Neill, the standoff, is playing out on the right wing. The first 3 tackles, he went right out there and pushed Marvin Golden inside.
Big hit.
Big hit. He went backwards. Oh, he's going to play a knock on.
Yes, he is. Darren Burns lost control of the football, so it's scrum down, head and feed to Widnes.
Well, it had a big red cross on that, didn't it? And a big hit from Andy Hay. He said, welcome. In the nicest possible way. I'm impressed with Darren Burns. Got a great work attitude. He really wants searching for it. And that's why I mentioned earlier the fact, Eddie, that he likes to be roaming around the field of play rather than just being shifted in to one section of the field.
I know that Widnes have been out of the elite for a wee while, but Warrington tonight seeking their first win against them since April 1995. Jonathan Davis, intrinsically linked with both clubs, got 16 points. This now is Millard. Whoa, that was a big hit, but he got away from Guisset.
But what an offload from Steve McCurry. Now it's Warrington's turn to start bouncing off the tackles.
Andy Hay, the try scorer at dummy half. His try has certainly lifted them. That bounced off the Warrington man. And it's with Hughes. And the referee says the ball hit the Warrington defender. He didn't make a play for it, so the tackle count continues. That means this is the last.
Interesting to see there that Lawford went for the kick early. Oh, and the Warrington player was taken out.
It was Breers by McCurry.
Touch judge is on. This will be a penalty.
And McCurry is unhappy, not with Breers, but with the fact that the touch judge has come on to intervene.
Breers was not interfering in any way, shape or form in the actual of the play. Watch this. He goes for the ball. Whoop, back here.
Touch judge and referee working in tandem. McCurry. That was a charge down.
Well, he went for it, didn't he? Certainly propelled the body forward. That really should have gone back to 6. Either way, they've got away with it, but there was no doubt about it that McCurry took Breers out.
That was true, but they should really have had an extra set of 6 Widnes. He made a play to charge the ball down. It didn't simply ricochet into him. Good drive again, though, from Hilton. Good to see both him and Fozzard at full tilt in matches and in full fitness as well. Well picked up by Penny.
But it was forward. It was delayed. Penny skirting through from full back.
Here's Darren Burns.
See Burns trying to twist in the tackle. Well, that was forward a mile. Okay, half a mile, kilometre.
10 metres away, Warrington with Clark. Short ball to Wainwright. Good hit.
Lost.
Good hit.
Julian O'Neill, the prop, Julian O'Neill. I can't seem to get to grips, Eddie, with Jules O'Neill at standoff and Julian O'Neill.
Well, he's got Jules on his back. There's the other Julian O'Neill, the original, I suppose, from Widnes' point of view. Although Jules O'Neill was at Widnes in 1993, wasn't he, as a youngster?
I'm sorry, but in rugby league, a name like Jules just doesn't sit right, does it? The other code, maybe. Jules.
Well, it's only a way of identifying him compared to the other fellow.
I would rather have Rupert.
How can you have Rupert if his name's Julian? There's the other Julian O'Neill, the big prop forward. Ball's come free. What happened then? Knock on. Knock on is the ruling against Julian O'Neill.
Well, I must say, it was an eternity before they were allowing the big fella to get up and play the ball. Clark's all over him.
He definitely lost it.
Well, yeah, but it's a responsibility, I know, of the man that is carting the ball, wanting to play it. Well, it's the second time we've seen Lee Penny chime into the three-quarter line, but very flat attack.
This is Guisset, Hughes and Hay with a tackle. Neil Kelly, Martin Crompton alongside him.
Oh, good defence.
Great defence. Robert Ralph over the top and Shane Millard low down. Clark. Wood. Bullet pass from Breers to Wainwright, and the Widnes fans claiming there was an obstruction there. Wood will bring it back this way. Here's Breers. Long pass to Guisset. A stroll in for the Frenchman. Well, the Widnes fans are booing the referee because they believe that one of their defenders was obstructed in the build-up to that try. On the last tackle.
It looked that way. Bit of interference, it really was.
Ronnie Lawton will have none of it.
Well, to me, Fozzard went in, but he pulled up. If it had gone right through with the run, certainly used a big fella. The referee's got it right, but this is not good defence, is it? It's a big problem out here on the left centre for the Vikings. Oh, that is easy. That is very poor positional play and the defensive quality. Poor old Chris Giles there was left with 3 men. And the Frenchman says, thank you. I'll take 4.
His third start in a row for Monsieur Guisset. Substitute in 5 others. And Mr. O'Neill not impressed with his teammates.
I'll tell you what, the coach, Neil Kelly, won't be impressed either. He knows that they had a golden opportunity to get back into this game, but absolute shabby defence.
Great pass from this fellow, though.
Sure
and
was.
Here now is Breers to try and add the extras. No problem. Goal kicking has been the difference between winning and losing pay for these two sides last year. And Widnes came up trumps on the 3 occasions they met Warrington in 2002. And Breers' goal kicking and Julian O'Neill's goal kicking tonight could be very, very important. Guisset taking a breather on the bench, just been substituted. Great try, wonderful pass wide.
Well, of course, in days of old, Eddie, if he got substituted after you'd scored a try, you would be spitting chips. But not these days.
Knock on.
17 aside, as we call it. So important. And, well, you lost control, didn't you, Wainwright? Slippery conditions. It's been raining virtually all day here, intermittently.
Double change by Paul Cullen, Sid Domick and Warren Stevens coming on. Remarkable that Domick is out there at all. Tell you why in a moment, as the ball finds its way to Giles.
They'll be back to a new set of 6.
It is.
Get a fingertip to it.
Adam Hughes, dummy half. Driving it in again, O'Neill. Domick there with the head guard on, the number 13. Great pushing by him. Driving the Widnes man back. He had a compound fracture just a few weeks ago in the match with Bradford and a dislocation. such bravery that he's out there on the field tonight. And Widnes dropping off the tackles quite alarmingly for their coach in the opening 24 minutes here. They're in possession here though with Lawford. And this is Frame.
And you add to that fact, Eddie, in regards to missed tackles.
Here's Andy Hay again, and Andy Hay flicks the ball away, and it's pushed away by Warrington. This is going to be 6 to go again.
Yeah. Oh no, he's missed it.
And the referee will take action against Andy Hay because he was having a right go at the touch judge then.
Good defence. Really put him on the rack, and they had to as well. See Domic not frightened to get himself involved as well. Look at this here. Domic did ever so well. Went for the ball carrying arm. That's the reason why it ricocheted, and this is the reason why the penalty is being given, and rightly so by Mr. Lawton. We cannot afford any player in rugby league giving a mouthful to the officials.
10 points the difference. We thought it was going to be tough, Phil. It's being proved right.
Yeah, it does. I think Warrington have played very, very well so far. And if Neil Kelly was upset about the missed tackles from the Widnes players, I think he'll be more upset about the discipline of the side. If you think about the 2 easy penalties they've given away, Steve McCurry pulling down Lee Breers and then abuse to an official there. They're just easy ways, really, of helping your opponents in what we know will already be a close game. Here's maybe attempted 40-20 there from Lee Breers. Not quite finding touch. Hang on a minute.
Oh, Giles slipped, didn't he? And Smythe was hunting. But Giles did well in the end.
Well, a few of them has done that. Actually wonder whether they've got short studs, and they really should have had long ones.
Appealing for a knock on.
And he's got it. Looks like Spruce has lost control of it. Well, it's going from bad to worse. Was it knocked down by Domic?
Well, it was, but was he making a play for the ball? No, he wasn't, but he didn't even touch it anyway.
No, he went for the facial, didn't he? He felt it and he lost it.
Oh, Stuart Spruce. He missed the Easter programme for Widnes, but he's back now. Here is Domic, and Domic making a great run from the base of the scrum.
Well, Lawford got to him, but it was by the shirt.
This is Darren Burns now. Domic so important to this Warrington side.
Neil Kelly has to get it out to say to his chargers, come on, you've got to start tackling the legs.
Wood, and oh, it's opened up for Nathan Wood. A lovely Domic. Oh, he's lost it.
Well, he said he lost control, but I think that was helped along the way.
Looks like a Mexican bandit, doesn't he, Nathan Wood?
Well, he nearly got over the border, didn't he?
Robert Relf did well.
Oh, the prop forward did ever so well. Knocked the ball out of his arms. Now, if he knocked it through, shouldn't that have been a dropout underneath the sticks? It looked deliberate to me. But there again, we go back to this rule, Eddie. I don't want to talk about it anymore.
Thank goodness for that. This is McCurry. 10 metres inside his own half. Lawford, Hay, Stevens and Domic. That thumb heavily taped for Domic. Millard running flat. Oh, and Apo is after this. And Apo's hacked it forward, and he will hack it again. Oh, the referee's brought them back. Apo's touchdown. Warrington will... Well, they've been penalised for offside, Warrington. Apo's celebrating. It's no try, fellas. It's no try. Look at the referee. Offside against Warrington.
Oh, it's a late call, this. The fans don't like it. Listen to them. There's a shocking pass. Julian O'Neill puts his arms around Graham Apo and says, sorry, mate. It was a good effort. So, well, the cork came out of the bottle, but I'm afraid it was flat champagne in the end. Well, he had plenty to go for, but why did he wait so long?
Well, he's just blowing now. And Apo, when he got the boot to it first time, the whistle had blown, but nobody heard it.
Do you know, that could have been curtains for Widnes.
Oh, it could. Here's Anthony Farrell.
They've never really got into the flow of things, have they, the Widnes side?
Relf. Lawford.
Forward a mile!
Yeah, and he agrees with you this time.
Well, they're losing the plot, Widnes. That wasn't the best pass.
And Robert Relf has talked back.
Captain!
Robert Relf has talked back. and it's going to be a penalty.
Robert Elson going to go here. Next one, mate. Sort it out. Yeah, well, I'm refereeing both sides.
Mr. Lawton, he says he's the boss. And he said he's refereeing both sides, which he is, and there's no excuse. I mean, that was a mile forward. They've been around long enough to understand what the officials are looking for. And if you delay the pass, you're going to get caught. But to make matters worse,
Offside. Whoa.
and they all start chatting to the referee.
Well, they're all having a pop at the referee, Mr. Lawton, the Widnes players, that's for sure. There was some argument there about the validity of that penalty, but Mr. Lawton is the man with the whistle. He has given Warrington 7 penalties to 3 at the moment, and this is Domick trying to make them pay for that last one.
Hell for one, clear.
That's how to run under the football.
They're right on the line here.
He's really sparked them up since he came from the bench, Domick.
This is Wood. It goes wide to Sibbett and wide to Appo. He'll get it this time, Appo. Appo with another Warrington try. Terrific movement from Warrington, from one side of the field to the other. And Graham Appo with his 4th try of the year. And the girls are dancing, and why not?
Well, he was denied a minute earlier, but there was no controversy about this at all. Used the 2 dummy runners and across the face, missed out the man. They got the overlap. They're in all sorts of trouble with the Vikings. They got to fix the boat, otherwise it's going to sink before half-time. Could have gone on his own, but Appo was there, did the right thing. Boy, oh boy, he enjoys rugby league, this fella, doesn't he? Look at that. Wonderful offload there. You've got to hand it to him. Ian Sibbett and the pass, and that's what it means to Paul Cullen.
Well, he played with passion, and he obviously coaches with passion. And Graham Appo, another try for him. That's Warrington's 4th. Well, they're running hot, the Warrington Wolves. They're a shadow of the side that we saw at St Helens, being taken to the cleaners. And Julian O'Neill knows that there is a crisis meeting required behind those posts. The Widnes players losing their discipline, back chatting to the referee, giving away easy penalties, conceding tries. And Breers with the opportunity to add 2 more. Missed that one. It's 20 points to 6 though.
Beautiful pass from Nathan Wood. See how he uses Wainwright as a dummy runner right across the face. And that makes the defence just tighten in. Dimitru it was that came in on the angle, and this fella just finished it off superbly. Well, this is going to be an extraordinary comeback by the Vikings. It's getting very, very messy, and he's given the penalty.
He's in the bin. Daniel Frame is in the bin.
Well, he told them.
He told the referee what he thought of the decision, and the referee says, fair enough, go and sit on your backside for 10 minutes. Neil Kelly has got to address this problem at half-time.
Well, we've seen in the past, haven't we, Neil Kelly? He can get quite furious at the half-time break. He likes to kick a few things around, and I get the impression, Eddie, he'd like to hit on a few of the bodies of his players. This indiscipline has just absolutely ruined them. There's a Widnes player down.
It's Julian O'Neill. Forward pass.
He got it. Sibbett thought that he'd got his winger away yet again. But they're just not at the races. They're all over the shop. Some are moving in, that you can see there. Marvin Golden, he should have stayed out wide with his opposite number, which is Graham Appo.
And Julian O'Neill, the standoff, is injured. Bill, I think you've got the report.
Well, it looks like a wrist problem. You know, when Julian O'Neill came out to warm up, I noticed that he was just holding that right forearm very gingerly, and I did wonder whether there was a problem there. He's obviously carrying that injury, and it's causing him a bit of difficulty at the moment, and that is that is all that Widnes need now, isn't it, Phil?
Yeah, that's part of the problem. I think losing the penalty count by 8 to 4 really is another reason why they're so far behind in this game at this stage. And you know, coaches give players ownerships of different parts of the field, and it looks to me that Julian O'Neill is in charge of defence on this right-hand flank for the Widnes side. He's perhaps a bit annoyed too with Marvin Golden and Jason Dimitri for being nervous at times and coming in, not relying on the inside troops, sliding across, getting there in time and holding out. So I'm sure we'll talk to him about that at half-time. Another missed opportunity there from Widnes, and I'm sure they can't wait, or the coach can't wait to get them in at half-time, try and calm down and address the areas that they need to do.
Not the best pass, was it, from Steve McCurry?
It wasn't a very good effort from Spruce to take it in, though.
Well, they're just not getting it together. They're not even sort of thinking positive.
The Dragons and the Sharks in the morning at 10:30 on Sky Sports 2. Monday at 1, we're back in the Super League, the Tigers against Hull. It's live from 1 o'clock on Sky Sports 1 on Tuesday night. Well, Leeds against Wigan. It's always a great game, and it will have some significance for the Wigan Warriors if Warrington win this and Huddersfield win tomorrow. It's Tuesday night at 8, also on Sky Sports 1. Leeds Rhinos, the unbeaten league leaders of the Tetley Super League, and half a dozen great games for you on Sky Sports this weekend. That's a great kick, and it's shuttled away by young Chris Giles. And there's a Widnes player down and hurt. I think it's Stuart Spruce.
It is, and they're going through an awful period. They will all want to get into the sheds at half-time, especially their coach, Neil Kelly. It's probably one of the worst performances that I've seen from a Widnes side for many, many a day, Eddie. The lack of discipline, they look lost. There's no leadership. There's no combination. In fact, you can virtually say there's nothing, and he knows it.
Neil Kelly is not only the Widnes Vikings coach, of course, he's the Welsh national coach. And here's the man that was brought from Wigan to steady the ship, kick the goals, and add experience to the side, Julian O'Neill. And here he is now with the goal line dropout, number 2.
Well, we're expecting big things, weren't we, from the two halfbacks, Julian O'Neill and Dean Lawford, but they've been totally overshadowed by their opposites. Lee Breers, Nathan Wood, he's created 3 tries. Breers has created 1. Can't do any better than that.
Ryan Sheridan on the bench. When will Neil Kelly bring him on?
Pretty soon, I hope. But I think he'll wait to the half-time siren.
Might be too late by then, because here come Warrington again with Wood. Great ball to Wainwright, flicked into the air. Surely Jules O'Neill's offside. Warrington have got the ball back.
Accidental. Now they know who's going to get the head and feed.
Widnes.
Well, it goes, once again it's involved in the tackle. He went for it, he wasn't intentional. He was in front, but he should have put the scrum down.
Keep him in the scrum.
Well,
don't look at me like that, because I get as baffled just as you do. People keep...
I wasn't going to argue with you. That's a penalty to Widnes now. Lee Penny. Whoops. And Penny jogging back as Lawford took the penalty, but as he took the kick, he slipped, ended up on his backside. Here is Anthony Farrell now, just over halfway, and Shane Millard clapping his hands, gives it to Robert Relf. Millard at dummy half again. And he's on his own, Millard.
Well, he's the type of player that can just lift them out of the doldrums.
They're all plodding though at the moment, Widnes. This is Julian O'Neill again. Now Spruce. Wide it goes to Demetriou. Good harassing tackling though by Warren Stevens.
Well, the Warrington defence right up into their faces there. There was nowhere to go. In fact, the last couple of play the balls, and that really should have been an intercept.
Oh, and he said, well, the ball was knocked back.
Well, he knocked on, surely.
Well, he said it went backwards. And that's high from McCurry on Breers, and they're all offside anyway, he says.
Well, that's got to be a knock on. He's going forward. Left hand.
Domick to drive it in. Warrington looking for an important try on the half-time hooter here.
Poor defence yet again, Eddie. They weren't even moving forward. Look at them, they're hanging back.
Breers to Wood. Wood, it goes wide to Sibbett. He'll score.
This is
Warrington's
disgraceful.
Paul Cullen. They are taking Widnes to the cleaners, and you can see what it means to the Warrington supporters. Sibbett, the man that Cullen brought back from Australia to play for this club, and he's rewarded him here with another try. Widnes fans perplexed, they're bothered, they're bewildered. I'm afraid so are their team at the moment.
Disgraceful. There were no less than 6 players in a defensive pattern. The overlap there, they've got no idea. Some are going forward, some are hanging back, hesitating. Look at that. They don't know what on earth's happening out there. They are out on their feet. Mentally and physically, they are being mauled. And there's more to come if Neil Kelly can't sort this out. The defensive line is atrocious.
Ian Sibbett going over for that try. That means now that every one of the 3 quarters, Smythe, Gross, Sibbett and Appo, have gone over for tries in this first half. And that's tremendous football from Warrington Wolves. Breers to try and add the extras again. The 1997 Young Player of the Year, and he's just missed again. 24 points to 6 though here at Wilderspool, and Widnes in a spot of bother.
Look at that, 7 players, more than half your team in 15 metres. Unbelievable. They're trotting across, hesitate, overlap, thank you. Sibbett will not score an easier try than that in his entire career. Well, I don't know whether he's got a magic wand, Neil Kelly. I think he'll be looking for a double-barrel shotgun.
Well, he's not happy, and that is for sure. Brent Gross's try in the 6th minute started the rot for him. And the Warrington fans, well, they rise to their team as they leave the field. Maybe the half-time siren has come at the wrong moment for Warrington. It's come at the right moment for Widnes, because Neil Kelly can get at his players and he can try and reorganise and begin the fight back at the start of the second half. 5 tries to 1. Warrington Wolves running really hot. They lead 24-6 at the break. Spread the riot act to the Widnes Vikings, and we'll check on what was said in those dressing rooms with Bill very shortly. But I think that Kelly will be looking, Steve-O, for a much more committed performance from his men in this second half.
Well, they couldn't do any worse in the first 40 minutes, and they've just got to go back to basics. And the basics of rugby league is to play as a unit, play as a team, both in attack and defence.
Widnes, of course, beginning this second half still with 1 man down. Daniel Frame has a couple of minutes still to serve in the sin bin for talking back to the referee, Ronnie Lawton, and that is a bad statistic from Widnes's point of view. 15 missed tackles. But Paul Cullen will be delighted with the 3 alongside Warrington's name.
Not about add to that, the clean breaks by Warrington, 10-1.
And was he dragged over the line then? No, he wasn't. Here is Domick.
He puts a lot of life into this Warrington side, doesn't he, Domick? He's a tough hombre, that's for sure.
This is Stevens. Ooh, and Adam Hughes went for him and missed. Oh, and look at this. And they are now having a go at each other.
Well, Shane Millard just says, come on, what are we doing here?
High tackle.
I mean, to me, it wasn't all that bad, but the thing is, and the reason why Millard would be happy about it, that it was half and half, Cumberland throw. Look at Millard and said, listen, we've got to go down and tackle. I said at half-time that they're fully paid professionals.
Well, Millard was furious, and this is Warren Stevens driving the ball in. Warrington within a metre of the line in the opening couple of minutes, second half, and looking to capitalise here on this territory with Nathan Wood. Wood just slipping, but still managing to get the ball away to Breers. He'll give it to Sibbett. Sibbett is hauled down on the 3rd tackle. They're 10 metres away. Wainwright. Now Nathan Wood. And Wood back to Domick. And Domick Still Sid Domick. Eventually hauled down, and they're appealing for a knock-on that doesn't come. Breers. Wood flicks it again. Play on. Still play on. Must score here. Must score. Gross. Brent Gross, second try. He's going to give it to Ian Ollerton, the video referee.
Was it a knock-on? That's what he wants to have a look at.
Yeah, we've got a few players there, balls on the ground. Just check whether we've got a knock-on or not.
Now then, Wood whips it backwards. That's okay.
It was actually what he's asking for, you know, is from the last play the ball.
Well, not only that, was the tackle completed?
No, I don't think it was.
Well, the ball carrying arm, if it hits the deck,
It's
here we
this,
go.
It's this here.
This, right.
No.
That's all right. He did not have hold of the player when he lifted the arm, so that's okay. This will be given.
I don't think he was asking about this. I think it was over on this other side. But I think that Ian Ollerton has seen enough.
It's try.
It will be, no doubt. I think the referee wanted him to check on what was happening out on this far side
It doesn't matter.
at the last play the ball.
Doesn't matter. There's 4 points on the board.
It's done now.
And again, look at this defence. Hang on, let's see what they're going to do. The two halfbacks are having the time of their lives. Lee Breers and Nathan Wood, they're the architects. And again, you've got to feel sorry for this these two wingers. Chris Giles and Marvin Golan, they've been left with an impossible situation. See how they hang back. You've got to apply the pressure. He did well there. Offloaded. Breers yet again. Oh, had all the time in the world. Gross. This is easy. Well, you know, Widnes lost the toss. And I think when they went back in the dressing room, they said, what did you do? We lost a toss. Oh, we're doomed. That's how it looks to me.
Breers with a miss. 28-6. Well, must win was the expression used by both Paul Cullen and Neil Kelly. And I think I'm right in saying that Warrington have got Halifax up next. And that's another one that Paul Cullen has said is a must-win. Nothing wrong with that there, was there?
No, I think he was looking at the fact that...
it's this bit here.
Well, that went backwards, that's fine.
And that one.
Yep. And Paul Wood... And no one was touching him when his ball carrying arm hit the deck. That was good refereeing by Ron Lawton. Did the right thing. Went to the screen. That's what it's there for.
Well, if someone had a hand on the Warrington player, I think you're right. It was Paul Wood. It would have been a penalty indeed. The tackle would have been completed, and he should never have allowed the ball to leave him. But as he wasn't, it wasn't.
But then again,
it is a try.
It certainly is. And again, just before half-time, Eddie, I highlighted the fact there were 7 players in a 10-metre defensive line. We had another 6 there in an 8-metre line.
Well, I wonder what was said in those dressing rooms. Bill has the answers.
Well, it certainly will please Paul Cullen, the Warrington Wolves coach, because his side have come out and done exactly what he asked of them. He had a wholehearted commitment from them in that first 40 minutes. They got their just rewards, and that's all he wants in this second half. They had a completion rate of something like 75%, he reckons, and he can't ask, well, he can ask for more than that, of course, but you rarely get it, so he's pretty pleased with his team. Quite the opposite from Neil Kelly. He readily acknowledges that discipline from his side was appalling in that first half. He says that's what's really been the root of their problems. Okay, they missed some tackles as well, but they put themselves under so much pressure with that indiscipline, and they've done it again at the start of the second half because they conceded the penalty and found themselves on the back foot, and with that going against them, they really haven't got a prayer. They're looking to bring Ryan Sheridan on now, and he'll spark him up, I'm sure, but it's probably too late, isn't it?
Well, never say never. Ryan Sheridan can turn a match. It's a huge deficit, though, that he has to turn around, but if Widnes score here, they'll have hope, and it's with McCurry. No one in the supporting role for Steve McCurry.
He had the opportunity to offload. They were slow. Second phase of attack was non-existent.
Lawford with the dab through, but gobbled up by the Warrington defence.
That's a poor kick, Eddie. Well, at the start of this season, the man that's just doing the tackle there, Dean Lawford, was in charge of everything out there. And there was no real sort of effort into it. And to add to that, there was no player running towards the ball itself.
Well, Lawford and Julian O'Neill ran the show at Wakefield when we last saw the Widnes Vikings just after Easter, the Easter Tuesday.
They've been in scintillating form.
They have. They're having a very off day today. Breers with a big hoof downfield. Warrington haven't beaten Widnes here at Wilderspool, you know, since Boxing Day 1994. 11 points to 2. Yestin Harris, remember him? 3 goals. Greg Mackey, remember him? A drop goal.
Well,
Demetriou for Widnes now.
I've just looked at the Widnes bench and I don't see the name Houdini there. Because that's what they're going to need. They're playing for pride now, Widnes. They've got to get themselves back on it. We saw the incident there with the hooker Shane Millard and Adam Hughes. When you start arguing amongst yourselves, Eddie, you've got nowhere to go.
And next up for Widnes, I mentioned it's Warrington and Halifax next weekend. Next up for Widnes, next Saturday night, as we said at half-time, it's Widnes against Wigan. Tasty. Oof.
Not the best pass. Lawford knows it.
Holds his hand up, Lawford.
He was dipping down and just lost control.
On the lasso, it's the turnover, and here come Warrington again as Ryan Sheridan comes on for Jason Demetriou. There he is, trying to get the first tackle in of his appearance here at Wilderspool.
Good tactics by Warrington, though. They know that this game is in their pocket, and they're standing deep. They're not doing the flat attack that we normally see.
Great work from Wood to Breers, and good harassing defence from Sheridan. Clark, here's Fozzard.
But again, we see there, Eddie, they're not moving off the mark and getting into their faces. They're hanging back.
Clark, Lawford after him. Bounce pass to Penny. Penny takes it back where all the heavy traffic was. Clark waits. Nathan Wood on the last tackle. Warrington running this. Breers, here's the kick. The chase is on. Golden has it all to do and does it.
Did well. Good positional play as well by Marvin Golden. Had to be.
Good run from Spruce. Good relieving run from Spruce.
Been some wonderful teasing kicks from this Warrington combination. The halfbacks, Lee Breers. That was a high charge.
By Ian Sibbett. Mark Hilton also in attendance, but there's the kick through.
Well weighted. If there's anybody out there that knows this ground backwards, it's the standoff Lee Breers. But the combination of the two halfbacks, Breers and Wood, have been outstanding. They've just controlled everything out there. Good, hard, solid work from the forwards. Nothing fancy. Didn't have to be. The gaps have appeared all over the place.
Lawford to Sheridan, goes wide to Hay.
Come on!
Big penalty count against the Widnes Vikings, which probably adds to their frustration. Here's Sheridan. And Hay tried to get the ball away to Lawford, and it's a knock-on.
Trying to offload there. Did he come off a Warrington player? That's nope. Well, Hay trying to offload on the few occasions that they've had support. Lawford was taken out, I feel.
And I don't know whether Lawford wasn't telling the referee it came off his knee.
Well, he was certainly bumped away from any chance of getting it.
Here's Wood again. Spruce around him, but they can't get him down. Miller, well, that's not allowed. His hand was between his legs.
Yep. Quick play of the ball. Widnes are just so slow in every department.
Come on! Let's go! Wait!
Clark. Fozzard.
He's lost it. Play
He
on.
has.
Oh, double knock on Andy Hay. Came the second one. I'll take the first one from Fozzard. He loves to get into the business end, doesn't he? Fozzard.
He does.
Loves it rough and tough. And way up above in the commentary box, Eddie. I love it.
Well, the scrum goes down. Clarkey, not the best start for Widnes again, second half.
No, it's not yet. Having said that, they've got 30 minutes in which to score 4 tries, and for a team with ability in the side, that's not beyond them. They just, I think, with the first one, really, then you'd see a real chance for them. Players like Julian O'Neill and his experience, hang on a minute, this could be a hit.
It could be. They're moving it around well, and it's O'Neill who's chimed in again. And he'll come back this way and find Sheridan, who'll find Lawford. Down a blind alley, though, here's a charge forward by Robert Relf.
Well, the introduction of Sheridan may just lift their spirits. Maybe we'll get something out of Lawford and O'Neill now.
This is Andy Hay. Clarkie's right. If Widnes get over for a try here, there could be a game on. Tried to get the ball away, then Lawford in an impossible situation. It was knocked out of his grasp, they're claiming.
Well, it's that rule again, isn't it? Penny went for the tackle, so that's play on.
Joe, come on. Wait here, wait. Joe, Andy.
No fuss. Not much finesse needed now by Warrington. This is the incident. Penny was involved in the tackle, but because he was not contesting the ball, he went into the tackle. That's why it's play on these days. Confusing at times.
Well, the crowd are still, the supporters of this game are still not educated in that rule, because the referee being told by them that he doesn't know what he's doing, but he does.
And you and I, we are, of course.
What, know what we're doing? No.
I'm on about that
Not
rule,
very often.
Yeah, that's for sure. Well, I mentioned the word pride, Eddie. Those players out there now in the black and white, the Widnes outfit, they've got to really just roll up their sleeves and show to their coach and to themselves that they're still capable of producing good, solid rugby league football.
Here's Lawford. O'Neill just back, and he loses another one.
Never really had that, did he? Now then, is that a voluntary tackle?
On halfway, Fozzard plays the ball to Wood. Here is Domick.
Never made any play, Fozzard, to bring that ball back.
Well, he was lying flat out, and then he sat up. Boots and all, Wednesday at 8. I think Francis Stevenson's in the studio from the London Broncos with Messrs Stevenson and Warren.
Yeah, 2 Poms, 2 Stevensons against the Aussie, eh?
Is no relation, is he?
Of course not, unless my father had a pushback, which he didn't.
Lee Pierce has decided to take the 2 here.
Well, I've never claimed for him on my taxation, I'll put it that way. And I must say, don't miss that, because Francis Stevenson is a real character, I can assure you.
Stevenson by name and Stevenson by nature, then.
All that's missing is attractive.
Well, there isn't a good-looking one amongst you who's there on Wednesday. Breers with the opportunity here. Doesn't make any mistake. 30 points. 6 Widnes.
Well, he knows that this game is wrapped up, and he'll be quite happy, and he's probably one of the best exponents of the field goal that we have in the world of Super League.
Clarkie, let's get back to you. We were a bit rude earlier because Widnes were on the attack.
Oh dear me. Back on it too. I'll have another minute while you assess this scrum.
No, go on.
I think honestly, I genuinely think here, 1 try for Widnes. I'm not so sure about the confidence of the Warrington side. You know, in the last game they were thrashed, weren't they, by St Helens? But 1 try against them, put some pressure on here, and Widnes could certainly get back into this game. June O'Neill is desperate now to ignite this Widnes backline, and this scrum offers a perfect opportunity for him to do it. Look here, they've stacked the scrum half. Has moved out to standoff. Winger fed the scrum. They tried to create an overlap, but Warrington read it very well with Gross. That's quite a good move, isn't it? Put the winger to scrum half.
Trouble is, though, Clarkie, it was so slow coming from the scrum base. They've got to be a lot quicker.
Well, they've got a penalty here. They're going to get a try here. Mark my words.
No, he's the worst tipster in the world, Phil Clark, but he might be right because here's Julian O'Neill again. But it's good defence from Warrington so far. Shooting out of the line then was Paul Wood. And here is Daniel Frame. That was a little high on Frame.
He certainly looked it. Darren Burns, that's going to be a penalty.
Oh, he didn't get up and play the ball properly.
And it's a penalty against Widnes.
And Daniel Frame is having not the best night.
It was certainly high, wasn't it? Should have been a penalty to Widnes. As it turned out, maybe got a foot to it. He's worked hard, Daniel Frame. And quite a few of these fans perhaps will be looking at their side and saying, well, we can't get any worse. Warrington, Paul Cullen and the players have brought a lot of, well, frowns from that fella Neil Kelly.
Oh dear, they've dropped the ball, it's Millard. And Millard has got Golden with him. He tried to get the pass away to O'Neill, and O'Neill has knocked on. And it is another glorious opportunity for Widnes that's gone begging. They have had the chances, you know. What a mess by Fozzard.
Certainly was. Millard through, and for once there was good support back on the inside there, but O'Neill had stopped. Took his eye off the football.
Over on your 20.
Well, he'll never stop trying, that fella, Shane Millard.
Andy, keep him in.
He's another one that perhaps can, one of the few that can hold their hands up. And maybe they can take a little bit of leaf out of this fella, you know. This Domic, tough as granite. That was a bit high as well.
Come on, come on.
I just get the feeling these Widnes players losing their cool.
Well, they're frustrated, there's no doubt about that.
Wait here.
Frustrated with their own performance, frustrated with the referee.
Referee don't miss tackles.
Hilton with the drive in.
Forward. Come on, here.
John Clark waits dummy half for Warrington. Breers. Wood. Penny steaming up on his outside.
Again, you see the confidence going through this Warrington outfit. They're standing very, very deep. The linking situation between the two halfbacks has been good. The kick and chase has been excellent. Just a little bit too long. That'll be a tap on the 20.
Yes, out touching goal.
But it just shows you, it highlights the fact that if your forwards are doing the work, the two halfbacks, they can have the run of the roost. They can go anywhere they like, and they've done that.
That's one.
This has been outstanding from those two halfbacks, Breers and Wood.
That's two. There. Two.
Well, next Friday we're in the capital for London Broncos against Leeds Rhinos. And next Saturday, as I said, we're at Widnes for the visit of the Wigan Warriors. And Steve-O will be there.
It might be warm at Widnes, I'm sure it will be.
They'll have the red carpet out for you. Millard. Frame.
Come on!
Millard again. O'Neill. A dab over the top. O'Neill's after it himself. Penny has lost it. O'Neill stabs it forward. He's got the try.
He hasn't. The foot got to it first.
And the referee, he doesn't even have to go to the video to make this decision.
Uppo gets there first with a boot. Bang. Oh, great work. Sorry to prove you wrong, Eddie, but this was excellent stuff from Jules O'Neill. Penny slips. It looked all the word for it, didn't it?
Let's go.
And I must say that Marvin Golding did everything possible to pull back Graham Uppo, but the winger got the boot to it.
Tackles downstairs.
It went past Millard on the bounce. Here is Golden. Well, I know it's not been a crash-hot performance from Widnes, but they will point to some chances that have slipped them by. And here is Paul Alcock. And Warrington now are offside.
Well, he's been pretty keen, hasn't he, Ron Lawton, the official, with the whistle for offside.
Yeah, we've heard plenty from him, but the coaches say if we are offside or if we are offending, penalise us. That's what he's doing. 2 meters away, Widnes. Another opportunity. Sheridan just slipped at the wrong moment. Millard again waits. Sheridan's hurt. Plays the ball to Millard.
No support though, Eddie. They're throwing the dummy, they're looking for the phase of attack. It's just not coming, it's just individual stuff at the moment.
Sheridan again. Oh, I thought there was an interception on there for Mr. Breers. Aitchison gets the ball away. This is Alcock.
Great tackle there. Oh, Nick Fozzard just lined him up.
Millard. Alcock. Farrell. Great defence. Lee Breers, was it? No, Guisset. O'Neill.
Oh, they're going from bad to worse.
I think it's time he got the coach warmed up and they all got on it and went back across the bridge.
Oh, well, that was like crown green balls, wasn't it? Look at this, on the floor. It's been a nightmare.
They have had a horror show, Widnes.
Well, they won't be selling many videos of this one around the Widnes area.
Still backing Widnes for the comeback, Phil.
You may be right. Still 20 minutes. Don't pack in on them yet. But do you know the amazing thing about rugby league? All right, they might not come back here today. But the last time you watched Warrington play, you just thought there was no hope for them, wouldn't you? They were completely outclassed. All of a sudden, they've come out. They put a far more accomplished and confident performance together here, and they look like a side who really could challenge anybody here in the Tethley Super League. As we go for Widnes, really, they're just all at sea, and yet, you know, before their next game, they could get it back together, and all of a sudden, they look like a great side.
Indeed so, and there's not much greater incentive than welcoming the Wigan Warriors to your home patch, and that's what Widnes will do. And O'Neill again, he's made a couple of costly handling errors as Julian O'Neill in this match. Millard, though, from the play the ball. Relf, Farrell, working hard in defence.
Yeah, but so different, aren't they? You know, they want to work for each other. They're getting back, they're scrambling through. If someone does miss a half tackle, there's always someone coming across. Team spirit.
O'Neill hoists the kick. It's straight up and under. Well, Spruce.
Well, he was told by the referee not to encroach the 10. Good refereeing. And Spruce would have given away a penalty. I know you were saying that he didn't seem to want to run for the ball, but he was in front of the kicker. And it was good refereeing by Ron Lawton there.
He was onside. Spruce was onside then.
Yeah, but he was told not to.
Well, he was onside, he touched it, and if he was told not to, penalty?
Should have been.
But he wasn't offside. Anyway, Breers down the middle.
Which side of the bed did you get up this morning? Hey?
It's a great chase. That's a great chase, but it's also a terrific drag back here by the winger Chris Giles.
Good footwork as well.
Well, that should lift Widnes.
Well, he should do.
Sheridan to Farrell.
Far too much individual play, though. That's a trip. That should have been spotted by the officials. I think it was Fozzard that went with a leg. They've got to cut that out. Look at this. They've got to cut it out. That's how a player can break his leg. And not one official, the two touch judges or the man with the whistle, saw this.
There's the penalty. That's why Widnes have this possession, because Sheridan was impeded as he tried to get up to his feet. Here's O'Neill again.
Lost it.
An untidy play, the ball. Well, Julian O'Neill has not had his most fastidious night's work here.
Yeah, but they're all over him. I know he's lost it. And you've got to look at the fact that Paul Wood was in the way as well. The rule states, play the ball, roll away. Not that he'll be too concerned. He knows that the time's ticking away. It's just consolation stuff now for Widnes. Forget it. They've got to start looking at the fact that it's 0-0 and look at building their confidence, because it's just been shot to pieces. That was high from Mr. Farrell. And I think that it's time now for Neil Kelly to make sure. Well, that didn't look too bad, did it? Alcott went on the shoulder.
Well, presumably that's the view that Mr. Lawton had of it as well.
Yeah. Well, he's got that wrong, hasn't he?
Fozzard again.
I was just trying to make the point, Eddie, that Neil Kelly now has to send the message out. OK, look, we've been beaten by a better side on the day, without a doubt, but we can't afford anybody to be sent off. We don't want anything stupid.
Sibbett, good tackle. O'Neill. That's a penalty.
Should have been.
Allowed to play on with it. This is Wood. 10 metres away, Warrington now. Nathan Wood. Here's Warren Stevens. Flicks the ball back, and again. Penny had overrun it, but they have men on the overlap wide.
Should have given it. Good work from Adam Hughes there.
Gissé had Rob Smythe waiting. Rob Smythe now at dummy half. Back it comes to Fozzard. Here it is with Nathan Wood. Nathan Wood wide, it goes to Sibbett, and Sibbett backs himself. Golden is slid over the in-goal area.
Tackle completed. Now, if he said the tackle was completed, then it should be a penalty, shouldn't it?
Well, he blew the whistle. drop out under the sticks.
Neil trying to get him, that's right. He's still moving, isn't he? He gets into the field of play. Well, it's completely confused, is Marvin Golden. Obviously deemed to have put that ball dead. Let's see. He carries in, he's pushed him over, but he's still moving,
Discipline! Discipline!
I think that should have been play on.
Here is Breers meanwhile for Warrington. He couldn't get the pass away. He will now to Smythe. Oh, there was an ambush waiting for him. Farrell and Ralph.
Smythe sandwich there.
Clark, Nathan Wood. Wood, the other one, steps out of the challenge. Will get the try. Paul Wood. It's all over now for Widnes. It's been all over for them for a long time, to be fair.
Well, I mentioned the fact that Widnes lost the toss, and I think it was downhill from there on in. But again, Wood being the provider, O'Neill couldn't get him down, went low, but he slipped away. An important try for this kid, Paul Wood. It's great to see young players come through and they think to themselves, I'll remember this day. Bang, yes! Yes, says the man, Paul Cullen. Well, Paul, as we all know, is an excitable chap. He's trying to be as calm, cool and collected, but you just know inside that he's so proud and he wants to burst out with celebration. And when this hooter goes, he'll be down there celebrating with them, and he's at every right. They've got the tactics right, they've played basic football, they've kept their composure, whilst the other team, they've been losing theirs. The gaps have appeared, and they've been steered along by their skipper, Lee Breers.
Here he is with this conversion attempt. Hasn't had many easy kicks tonight, Lee Breers, and he's missed another. It's 34 points to 6 though, and Paul Cullen, as you say, he will be bursting with pride here. He actually once got a couple of tries against Widnes in the old John Player Trophy semi-final. Warrington won that day 35 points to 4. It was Christmas 1986, and this win today ranks alongside that in terms of margin, doesn't it? They're making a real mess of things over there. That's the second time.
Yeah.
Different player.
Well, there's very little to say about that, is it? Okay.
I think Mr. Cullen will have something to say about it on Monday morning.
Well, it's very difficult, Eddie, to motivate yourself when it's been just an easy walk in the park. 34-6.
O'Neill.
Hard to lift yourself, and that just about sums it up, doesn't it? Knock on, bad passes.
That's one here, right?
It has been a nightmare for that man.
Well, another very proud coach, Neil Kelly, coach of the year, of course.
And he's got another 11 minutes to endure, I'm afraid.
Clear!
Remember last year it was a journey of great enjoyment for Widnes, and we mentioned early on when they had to wait so long for their first win of the season that maybe it was second season syndrome, and Neil Kelly blows that sort of argument out of the water. Appo with the knock-on. Play on then. Ralph has it.
Well, there again. Well, we knew it was going to go. A bookie would have only given you 6-4 at best for that. It has been bubbling and bubbling, and it has finally got over the top. Robert Ralph not too impressed about the proceedings. It was pretty high from Appo.
That was Wood, actually.
Wood, sorry.
And it was on Daniel Frame, and then it was high.
Yeah, it went one back. Now, I mentioned the fact, definitely high, but you can't take matters into your own hands.
Well, Ralph just threw the ball away.
Well, I don't know what's happened. Right, we're going to put it in report. It's a knock on here, isn't it? By Widnes. Yep. Captains!
It's on report, the whole business, because the touch judges and the referee not sure what happened other than the knock on.
All right, we'll put it on report. We've not seen what's happened. We've seen a number of players coming in. All right, throwing punches, etc. We're going to put it on report and let legal touch it.
Wonder since when was Nathan Wood the Warrington skipper?
We're coming down here, lads. We're coming it down. Warrington
Well, Lee Breers said, you're nearest, go and have a
well, Warrington have got out of jail here because there were two high shots. There's the second one that got Robert Relf annoyed.
Yep.
And Warrington now have head and feet at the scrum for the knock-on. Oh, now he's given it witness on the intervention of the touch judge.
Well, next thing we'll see, they'll trot over to the other touch judge, see what he has to say about things.
It's witnesses head and feet at the scrum. Well, the touch judge and the referee.
Good work from Penny there. He lined up Jules O'Neill there, knew that he was going to throw the dummy.
On the high again. Now they're off again.
He's got to do something quickly as Ron Law.
Well, you see, the problem was they didn't do anything about the earlier one, and so the players now have taken it into their own hands to sort it out.
Well, he's put them on report. So in other words,
well, yeah, but there was two penalties he missed.
Yeah, but okay, he's put them on report. He didn't see them. Then they went high on here.
Here's Ralph now. They've taken a quick tap.
I said to Neil about Neil Kelly, he's got to make sure none of his players get sent off. And Paul Cullen has got the same problem at the moment. It's all squared up time now. There's been plenty of verbals throughout this match.
No love lost between Julian O'Neill and John Clark at the moment. Sheridan. This is Alcock. It went backwards. Millard. Sheridan. O'Neill. Gets away from Fozzard. Millard again. Sheridan. O'Neill. Oh, well. Nathan Wood. Here's Sibbett. It's a night that Widnes will want to forget. Isn't it, Clarkie?
Do you know what's most impressive for me really in the whole game is Warrington's determination to prevent Widnes from scoring again. When they've had to scrum down and defend on their own line, you've seen all the players say, come on, 60 seconds, that's all we have to work for now. 6 tackles, defend, we don't want them to score again. And that's a fantastic pride to have in your own defensive line, and it's one which will hopefully ensure the Warrington side get into the playoff places. They really have played well for Widnes, it's just not been one of those nights. You've mentioned the frustration. Well, you have to be able to play sometimes when things are going well for you, the crowd are cheering and passes are coming off, and sometimes when things aren't. Widnes haven't really been able to cope in the first half with the situation not going their way. And it's definitely not going their way now.
It's chalked off for offside. The referee was screaming at Graham Appo to give him 10. And in his view, Appo was ahead of that kick from Lee Breers.
It's a good kick as well. Well, we know he's fast, Appo, but maybe he's not that fast. Must give him 10 metres. When the Widnes player touches the football, failed to do that. Well, I must say that this is one game that Widnes and their coach Neil Kelly and all the players that have been involved today will be very, very pleased indeed when in 5.5 minutes time the hooter goes. And I must say, Eddie, for the first time for a long, long time, I'll be pleased when the hooter goes.
Just over 5 minutes to go now.
There's another one.
It's Domick, and Domick is on his way. Aitchison with a good tackle, he forced the error. And Golden now has knocked on as well. They'll take the first. Widnes will get the head and feet at the scrum.
Well, it's getting farcical. Well, that to me was knocked out on a deliberate back there. But it's been given that this fella is needs to be the first knock on.
He makes such a difference though, Domick, doesn't he? A compound fracture and a dislocated thumb at Bradford Balls on April the 6th, and he's out there today.
He's so
needs a medal. O'Neill. Alcock.
Probably needs a new body, Eddie. Whether he puts his body on the line.
Warrington's reigning player of the year, by the way, is Sid Domick. Sheridan, Aitchison. They're very much in the face, Warrington, aren't they, tonight?
They've got it right, and that just proves
Great
it.
tackle again by Domick on Hay.
That's 5 on this line.
Last one.
5, wait, dear, wait.
You know, this Warrington defence has forced Widnes into one-out football so many times in this game.
Sheridan's high kick. Penny's after this. Oh dear. Oh dear.
Knock on. Oh dear, dear.
Well near. Well near. That's 0.
Well, even the players now are looking at the referee and saying, what on earth is going on? Offside.
10 metres.
Well,
10 metres.
I'll have a guess at this, Eddie. I think Ron Lawton has broken some sort of record today with offsides, and I think every single one of them has been correct. He must be in the 20 mark.
Well, there's 25 penalties in the match. It's been that sort of a night, hasn't it?
Wait.
But for Warrington, a great night at the office.
Fozzard fell that one. Adam Hughes threw in a little short one.
These two clubs, you know, Steve-O, they will still be talking not about the top 6. That ball's come free. That's got to be a knock-on, and it is.
Well, I thought it was whipped out. The hands of the Frenchman.
Guise is with you, but the point I was going to make...
What's this? What's him whip the ball away?
Stand apart.
Zap.
Front rows, don't win yet. Stand apart.
Can I make the point now? They're still talking about survival, these two.
The ball's not here, hold it.
Never mind
Get away,
top 6s
Nick.
yet.
Hold it here.
Survival, and this victory for Warrington, absolutely crucial in that first goal of the year. This is Frame. Oh,
Guess what? He's not come. Well, he's tried hard.
don't think Widnes will be selling too many of these videos, will they?
I've already said that.
Have you?
Yes.
Ball's gone forward.
Well, Widnes not only are losing the plot, and I must say that my friend Eduardo is doing exactly the same. Start from scratch. That's what Neil Kelly will be saying. You talk about the fight to get into the top 6. Paul Cullen can think positive, but he must also be thinking, what on earth this Widnes side has produced today.
Stay in the scrum.
Is it going to be a false dawn? Is it that Warrington have been absolutely tremendous? They've been workmanlike and they've took their chances. But this has been a woeful performance by Widnes.
Here, wait.
Here's Domick. Oof. That was heavy from Millard and O'Neill. He's breathing heavily, and no wonder. Fozzard. We're coming up to the last minute, and Widnes will say thank goodness for that. Stevens.
Quite content, the Wolves, to just play it out. And again, the kick.
Breers finds touch. That will do them. Last minute, 34-6, no panic. Match is won.
They've played sensible rugby league football of Warrington. Got through the majority of their sets of 6. The kicking game has been superb. The defensive line has been good. It's been solid, and they have played as a unit.
O'Neill. This is the youngster Chris Giles. It's Widnes' worst post-war defeat, by the way, this at Wilderspool. Got the ball away there, though, to Millard. And what will not be comforting for Neil Kelly and the Widnes supporters is that Widnes have to come here again in August. Andy Hay will take the last tackle of the match. That will do. There's the siren. Warrington have beaten their close rivals. Not only have they beaten them, they have hammered them. 7 tries to 1. A golden night for the Warrington faithful. one that Widnes would sooner forget. And Neil Kelly will try and rebuild the confidence for the visit of the Wigan Warriors to the impressive Halton Stadium next Saturday night. But all that's for the future. For the present, Warrington and their supporters will be delighted with these 2 points. And I think I'm right in saying this victory will nudge Wigan a little bit further down the table. Game played with frustration at times, but the Warrington supporters give their team a standing ovation, and the guy with the drum is present at every game that they play. Fine win for them, one that Paul Cullen described as imperative before the match. He's got his wish. The bank holiday weekend has smiled on Warrington and their supporters. And here's the winning coach. He was with us last night at Wigan, and he's got a big smile on his face. Paul Cullen's with Bill.
Paul, that must be a very pleasing performance from a coach's point of view.
You know, I thought we were clinical. 2 points in the bag, and that's all we wanted. You know, the wins for the fans, we were smart in. Neil picked it. We were against St Helens. We were given a lesson, and we've learnt it well. I thought defensively we've pushed up, and we pushed them out the game. You know, it was a fantastic effort. 1-17. They're not all fully fit. They've come up with the goods today. You know, it's a massive effort.
And it was a tricky game because, I mean, when a side's playing, I mean, to be fair, Widnes were woeful at times, weren't they? And when they're off their game and they're indisciplined as well, does it make it difficult for your guys?
I think we just need to concentrate on ourselves, and we push them hard in defence, and you force errors. You know, I think we said it last night, you know, winners make their own luck, and we've made ours today, and that's because we've worked exceptionally hard. We were humbled when we were embarrassed by St Helens. We stood back and watched them play, and we've learnt the lesson. We were determined it wasn't going to happen today, and certainly not at Wilderspool. The call is leave with dignity, and we're on the ladder. We're working there. We're going.
And working your way up.
Well, that'll take care of itself, Bill. You know, it's a battle for the middle order, and you know, we're in a far better position this year at this time than we were last, and that's what matters.
Thanks very much, Paul.
You're welcome, Bill.
Let's bring man of the match, Nathan Wood, in. Congratulations. There you go. You got a spare hand.
Thanks. It was a big effort from my teammates. We got our bums smacked last week by Saints, so we wanted to, we tried hard to train and did a lot of extras. Everybody worked well, and credit to all the boys.
Well, you must have been itching to get back out, Nathan, because of what happened at Saints.
Yeah, that's right, mate. I think we got a bit gun shy with Saints. You know, we're a capable side when we put it all together, and you know, we won on the day. And thanks to Sammy, Mrs. asked me to win this watch, so she stays up. Got a surprise for you later. Might even give you a watch too.
Steady. It'll be that moustache that does it.
Yeah, the porno tash. Thanks, mate.
Well then, Nathan, let's bring Phil Clark in. Well, follow that.
Well, I'll tell you what, you know, Eddie was talking before about all about survival for Warrington. Hey, if they aim for the stars, they might just make it to the moon, and that moon really could be 5th or 6th spot in the league table this year. They've got all the chances really of making it into the playoffs if they play the way they did tonight, with that sort of confidence and that attitude. And you know, to restrict a Widnes side to just one try in a game is a fair effort, because they've got some skill as well. Admittedly, it wasn't their night. And the most impressive thing, though, again, with 40 seconds to go, the dedication and intensity in the Warrington defence, with a 28-point lead to prevent Widnes from scoring, really does show some positive signs for Warrington.
But Neil Kelly and will give his guys, I should think, a very tough week, won't he? Because that was poor from Widnes.
Yeah, it is. I don't think you will give them a tough week, because I don't think that that's the way to go. I think they have to very quickly forget that performance. Throughout 28 games, there are going to be some matches when you don't play particularly well. Things don't go your way. You have to quickly forget it. He knows the team are better than that, and then show that in the next game, which is what Warrington have just done, isn't it? They've all commented on their performance against St Helens wasn't good enough. They've come out and they've proved that here tonight.
Well, thanks, Phil. Well, yes, that's exactly the point, because Widnes have got the perfect opportunity to get this out of their system and to show to their fans, who are here in big numbers tonight and will go out disappointed, some of them very early indeed, next weekend against Wigan. Great chance to blow away this result, Eddie.
Indeed so, but currently I'm afraid this will not make pretty reading for the Widnes Vikings. 34 points to 6. It is their worst post-war defeat on this ground. And when you consider that last year Widnes